When I'm working with buyers, I get asked quite often, what is earnest money? Well, that's what I'm going to be talking about today, and we're going to get started right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ledeana Strand with Homes by Strand and Remax Town & Country in Portrait, Washington. I post real estate related videos every other Thursday, and if you want to stay up to date on what's happening in the Kitsap County real estate market and what it takes to buy or sell a home here locally, consider subscribing by hitting that subscribe button down below and that little bell for notifications so you don't miss out on anything. So what exactly is earnest money? When you're buying a house, you want to show the seller that you're serious about purchasing their home by putting down a good faith deposit, because you're basically asking the seller to take their house off the market to give you time to get financing and to do inspections, etc. So the seller will want to see that you have some skin in the game as well. That is what earnest money does. It's essentially a good faith deposit. Now, it's not legally required in Washington State, but to be taken seriously by the sellers and the market that we're currently in Kitsap County, you do need a good faith deposit. Now let's dive a little bit deeper. Now don't worry, earnest money is money that's refundable to you if you cancel during your due diligence period. And if you don't know what due diligence is, don't worry. I'll be explaining that in one of my future videos. Part of that due diligence period is allowing you to do all of your inspections. For example, a home inspection, neighborhood inspection, maybe you want to check out the schools, any inspections that you feel are necessary to help you make an educated decision on whether this is the right home for you and your family. If you find anything that's a deal breaker for you and you end up canceling, you can get your earnest money back. But if you remove your contingencies, if you've done the appraisal, you've done your inspections, you've gotten the green light from your lender, you're moving full steam ahead, and then you cancel, the seller would then be entitled to keep your earnest money because you would be basically in breach of contract. Now, something else to keep in mind is that the money you put down as earnest money, the more you put down, the more serious it looks to the sellers. And in multiple offer situations that we're in now in our local area can mean the difference between getting the house or having the seller go with another offer that may have offered more earnest money. But at the same time, you also want to remember that the more money that you put down, the more you stand to lose as well. So how much money should you put towards the earnest money deposit? Now, there's no hard and fast rules on this, but typically we see around 1% of the purchase and sale price. So if you're buying a $300,000 home, that would be $3,000. Now, don't worry, your earnest money deposit is applied to your closing costs. So if your lender said your closing costs are going to be $6,000, you've already put down $1,000, then the cash to bring to the closing table would only be $5,000. Now, when I'm working with buyers, I have a process in place to make sure that my clients are never in breach of contract. I make sure that they want to move forward with the purchase, that we've gotten the go-ahead from the lender, and that the property appraised for the offer price, that we've also been able to renegotiate or negotiate with the seller on the inspections, and that my buyer is happy and wants to move forward. If you decided to cancel after all of that, you would lose your earnest money. As a buyer, you want to make certain that you're 100% sure you want to move forward. So hopefully you're working with an agent that's going to be guiding you and letting you know of those time frames so that we never put that earnest money in jeopardy. The last thing we ever want to do is have you lose your earnest money. So there's typically 3 contingencies when you're buying a house, and they're listed right here. The inspection contingency, meaning we are happy with the condition of the house, and the financing contingency, your lender said yes, they're going to give you the loan. And the appraisal contingency, where the property has appraised for what you offer to pay for it, if not higher. If you cancel during your due diligence period, you did your home inspection, you were not happy with what you found, you're entitled to get your earnest money back. Once you move past the due diligence period and then you decide to cancel, the seller would be entitled to your earnest money deposit. Now, if the property does not appraise for the purchase price and you're not able to come up with the difference or renegotiate with the seller, then you're entitled to get your earnest money back. But if you do all those things and 3 days before closing, when everybody's all set to close, you say, oops, another house came on the market down the street, we like that one better, you're probably going to lose your earnest money. So those are just some things to be aware of. Now, the next question that people ask is, when does the earnest money need to be deposited? Your earnest money, whether you write a check or do a wire transfer, will need to be deposited usually within 1 to 3 days of mutual acceptance, or however it's stated in the purchase and sale agreement. If you're going to wire the money, it's extremely important that you speak directly with your escrow company to get the proper wiring instructions. So hopefully this has cleared up any questions you have on what earnest money is. If this is your first time buying a house, click this link right up here. I did a video on how to buy your first home, and I walk you through the entire process step by step. If you have any questions or if there's anything I can help you with, please don't hesitate to ask. Even if you're not in Kitsap County, Washington, shoot me a message and I'll see how I can be of service to you. If you like this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button and leave a comment on what future videos you'd like to see me do. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel by hitting that subscribe button, and I'd love for you to join the community. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Make it a great home buying and selling day. See you soon.